Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara, and today we are going to be making this pattern. It is a memory bear. A lady at work, mother passed away, asked me if I could make her some memory bears for her great nieces. So I said yes. So I went online to Carol's Zoo and I downloaded this pattern. It didn't cost much, and it comes with all the instructions and the pattern pieces that you have to take together. So I thought, let's do this together. So this will be my first time making this bear out of some regular fabric. It's just going to be a test run to see if I can do it, and let's just do it together. So let's get started. So first of all, I have taken some scrap fabric. It's probably about half a yard or yard, and I have cut these pattern pieces out, and when I'm and pinned them to this fabric. So I have folded this together with the right sides facing each other, and probably would want to use interfacing on this so it would have a stiffer, but I'm not going to do that on this sample. But when I get ready to use the ladies' shirts, I will. So this is what I've done. This is the back of the bear, and this is the front of the bear, and it's only two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out, and once I get this cut out, I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm back, and I do have everything cut out. I do have everything cut out for this. So what I'm going to do is we do have a dart. As you can see, that's a dart. So I'm going to trace that on the fabric before I cut it out. And I'm just going to use this pen. All right, so let me go get my pen cushion. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I don't know, my tracing wheel is somewhere. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to put a pen here, and I'm just going to trace this where I can see it on this side. So it's kind of like, I'll tell you what, let's just clip this dart just like this. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this blue pen and I'm gonna trace it. Then when we do it on the sewing machine, I will be able to see where to fold that and go. So this is on two papers. So I'm going to fold it down, fold this down, and trace it on this part as well, keeping it lined up. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then it does show a place for the eyes. So I'm going to use this pick tool, and I'm going to punch a hole right here where the eyes should be. And I just poked it right through that fabric. And it's going to leave a little hole here where I can see it. And I'm going to take this chalk, and I'm just going to color it in on this side of the fabric so I'll be able to know where that eye is. And the same way is with the nose. Nose is right here. So we're just going to punch a hole through there. That way when we get finished, we'll be able to see where this nose goes, this chalk, okay? So let's just take these pins out. There's one, this is going to be the front. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this tool and I'm going to chalk, and I'm going to put an F here so I'll know that this is the front of the bear. It's just F. I'm going to take these out, and there's nothing on this one except we're going to leave this little backing part for where we have to stuff it. So I'm going to mark this so I'll know where to stop sewing. Here and here. And do the same thing on this side. Here and here. That just leaves us an opening so we can go back in there and stuff the bear. batting. You're also going to need some batting. And I'm just going to use a pillow that's old, and I'm going to open it up. So what we have is 4 pieces. This is the back. So let's put a B here, so we'll know that that is the back. Back. Okay? So we have those marked. And what we're going to do is go in and sew these darts. So we didn't have any darts on the back piece. The darts were all on the front piece. And I do have my instructions. Like I said, it does come with instructions, and we're going to follow the instructions. So let me bring you down closer to the sewing machine. We're going to be using my Viking sewing machine to make this bear. Okay, so got the front pieces, and so I have my markings for my dart. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it, and then I'm going to put the needle down, and then I'm just going to sew this dart. And this machine does the back stitch, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it locks that stitch in. And then I'm going to cut that. Okay. And so there we have one dart that has been done. Okay. And so I'm going to trim these threads. Then I'm going to take this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it match up these points. And every, could be another way that people do darts. This is the way I do it. Just sew it up. Okay, that is done. I'm going to trim that. And there is my other dart. Okay, so we're going to get our instructions, and we're going to see what we're going to do next. Okay, so the next step is to pin the fronts together. So we had 2 fronts, remember, because I folded my material in half with the right sides together. And I'm going to pin these 2 fronts together, and then we're going to sew them together. So we're going to, and if you don't want to pin, you don't have to, but this is my first time doing this, so I am going to pin it. So we're just going to pin it along this part of it, this back part of it. Okay, and once I get all this pinned up, I'm going to come. The instruction says to pin and stitch together the center front. As you can see, this curved part will be the center front between the 2 squares. So we have 1 square here and 1 square here. So when you put this on your pattern, as you can see, the square. So what I did is took this blue pin, this square here and here, and that's where we're going to sew. Just between the 2 squares, so we don't need those other pins. So we're going to sew from here all the way up to here. So let's come to the sewing machine and get sewing. And this is a 1/8 seam allowance. Let me go back, because I think I missed some of that. You gotta go make sure you get around all these curves, okay? So yeah, let's go back and do this little piece again. Now I think my bobbin is out. Let's see. No. Let me thread this bobbin. Okay, so we have this together. And this is what it should be looking like. This is the front, okay? And you can see where we have made our markings for our nose and our eyes. So now what we're going to do is look at our instructions for the back part. So let's see. Okay, I'm back. So the next step says to insert the eyes and the nose. And so the instructions is if you're going to be giving this to a small child or something, you're going to need to get the eyes and nose that come with a safety latch on the back of those. I don't have any of those yet, but I am going to order some off Amazon. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to use some buttons, and I do have a bunch of buttons that I used to make bracelets and stuff with, so that is what we're going to use. So I'm just going to look through here and find a few buttons that we can use for the purpose of this tutorial today, and we're just going to go with that. So let's just try to find some that matches. We're going to use those two, and then we're going to get one for our nose. So we're going to use this one. We're just going to pick out 3 of those. And then we're just going to move this aside, okay? All right, and this is the front of our bear, and we have these 3 buttons that we're going to be using, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to just put the eye where I had made those inserts for the little holes. If you use the real eye outlets, then you will need that little hole because you need to push it through there. But since I am just using these 3 buttons, I'm just going to hand stitch this in real quick. And I won't make you watch this. So I'm going to hand stitch these 3 buttons for the nose and the eyes, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, I did go ahead and stitch the parts of the eyes, and you can use felt, you can use that too, but I just had these buttons on hand, so that's what I'm using. So I have the 2 eyes and the nose, and this is the front of the bear. So we're going to go back to the back side of the bear, and what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to put a markings between the 2 large dots. So we have these 2 large squares, this one and this one, and then these squares are where we had marked with our chalk. So we're going to leave this part open. See how it says leave that part open for the stuffing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and this is my blue square, and I'm going to stitch here to here. And then I'm going to leave this opening, and then I'm going to stitch here to here. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. And these are, then I have the right sides together. So okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to cut. And we're going to move down and finish stitching. Stop, cut. Okay, and we do. And if anybody is wondering, I am using this thread stand because I do use these large spools of thread because this is a flatbed embroidery machine as well as a sewing machine. So this is what I'm using to hold my thread, and I just have it in this thread stand, and it's going to thread on up just like regular. Okay, so let's see what our next step is. Okay, we're back, and so now what it says to do is to working with the front on the top, tuck and pin the front to the back around all matching dots. Remember to ease or stretch where necessary, as these tension points create various features as the ears that fold forward. Carefully stitch around. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, this is the top part, like these are the ears and stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just start pinning like where this neck is, because that's where I know that that is going to fit perfectly, like just like that. So I'm going to start pinning around. I'm going to put pins around where this neck is, and I do have the right sides of the fabric facing each other. Okay, I'm just gonna, and then I'm going to continue to pin around using several pins, because this is going to be hard to sew around this because of how small and tight these creases are. So like up under the arm, I'm going to make sure that that is even as possible when we sew, and then we're going to have to pivot. And so now I'm getting down here in the body part. Okay, so I'm going to get this pinned up, and then we'll come back. Okay, I have this pinned up, and this was hard. So I'm going to say this is not a beginner-friendly sewing tutorial. So this is what we have. Okay, so this is the top part of the bear where the ears and stuff, and I did have to do this in there to get this to fit by stretching and pulling all that, and I have a lot of pins in here. And so this is the back of the bear that is open. Okay, so we don't even have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here at the top ear, and I'm just going to sew this by easing this really carefully, and I'm going to try to get y'all as close as I can. Okay, so here we go. make sure you're pulling your pins out, because if you get a pin, the needle probably is going to break. And my sewing machine, the pressure foot raises up every time I stop so I can pivot. Okay, and I'm just going to continue to sew around the perimeter by stretching and pulling and tucking. Okay, so we're coming back up around the top of the bear. Like I said, this is not a fast sewing project. You're going to have to sew this kind of slow and easing the stitch and tucking and pulling and all that too. Okay, so we're back up here. Don't cut. Okay, so make sure we have all this done. I'm going to clip all these threads from where the... Okay, so it's kind of looking like a bear. So now let's go ahead and turn it the right side out and see what we got. Okay, like I said, when I make this for the oh, see right here, I missed some, so we're gonna have to go back in. Let's make sure that all of this on the front and back, this, okay, right here. So I need to stitch that down. That is up from that dart. So let's just go make a quick stitch here. Let's hope we got all of them. And if not, we'll just have to go back and do it again. Oh, see, there's another one. Because you gotta check to make sure you see right here. It's where I had a tuck and I didn't get all the fabric pinned. Well, I got it pinned, but on the other side you can never see the bottom. So let's just come in here and make a quick stitch. Okay, so if I have another one, I'm just going to stop the camera and fix them all, and then we'll come back. So let's get this turned out. And my chopsticks are over there, so I'm going to use this little pencil to get these arms out, and the legs, and see what we got. Let's just gently pulling this out because we don't want to rip anything. Let's get the arms poked out. Oops, there's one I missed, so I need to go back in there and fix it. But let's just get them all out, and then I can go back and look. Okay, so it's like a little bear. There's the legs. All right. Let me go back and figure out, because I did have right here on this arm. Let me sew that, and then I'm going to get this turned back out and get my pillow of the stuffing, and then we'll come back. So be right back. Okay, so this is what our bear is looking like. I definitely can see where I probably need to go in here, and it's in the stitching, I'm sure, where you have to ease the stitch. I think it might be even easier if I put some fleece interfacing iron on before I do this, or to give this a little bit more texture. But as you can see, it kind of looks like a bear. And then there's the back of it, and this, I'm just going to hand stitch this together. So let me hand stitch the back of this together, and then I will come back and show you what this looks like. And I'm kind of like folding this in and stitching it and pulling it taut a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a knot in it at so many points when I pull this needle through, just like that. See how that is turning out. So I got a long ways to go. I'm gonna finish it up. Okay, I'm back, and this is what the bear is looking like. I did stitch this back up. Um, and so here's the little button nose and ears and mouth, and of course the arms and the little feet deal, legs. Probably could have stuffed it a little bit more, but this is what it's looking like. Here's the back of it, and let's see, it will sit down like that. See, it's just sitting down by itself. And you can, let's get some ribbon and tie a bow around it and see what that looks like. One second. Okay, found this scrap ribbon, probably that I had got at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or somewhere. So let's just tie this a ribbon. Let's just see what this will look like. Kind of dress it up. I did see some videos where you could actually use the collar, because it'll be a shirt. So where you could use the collar of a shirt. So let's just tie this around here, or could make a special little bow tie and put around the neck. Let's just put this on here and see what it looks like. So look, this cute little ribbon, and you can get a thicker ribbon and dress it up, and could have even monogrammed this with a person's name on it or kid on it or some type of little saying. Monogram it before you sew it together. Anyway, if you like the contents of this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and thank you for watching. Bye until next time.